Journal Day.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. This is the Rangers Journal, and you're watching the Lowdown with me, Doug, looking at our next opponents in our upcoming Champions League qualifier this evening, Viktoria Plzen. This is a group that a team that we've not played before, although we have played some teams from their country in the sort of far past. And presents a new challenge for us. They are a team that have had relative success recently in European football, sort of going deep in the Conference League and having some decent Europa League runs as well. And Champions League, I think they've been just the one Champions League appearance. So obviously they'll be looking to build on that as much as we are also looking to get into the Champions League this round over. We'll start having a wee look at the form of the teams going into this round. So Rangers obviously coming off of the back of the disappointing draw away to Motherwell. Goal by James Tavernier in the first half, but a disappointing second half leading to Motherwell equalising with a few minutes to go. Similar frailty still showing in the team in terms of domestic football, lack of aggression, lack of running, a lack of effort, an inability to capitalise on leads and put games to bed. Things that we've seen time after time. We are starting to rack up a lot of draws under Russell Martin, if you factor in all the friendlies. That 2-0 win to Panathinaikos being the main kind of highlight in there. But we often get a different Rangers for European games, so we may well see that trend continue this evening with them playing better, and they'll have to if they want to get a result against this what is a decent, but beatable, but certainly decent Pleasant team. All the teams who are going to play at this kind of level are going to be good teams. They've come into this beating Servette over two legs. They won 3-1 in the previous game, having lost the first leg 1-0 at home. Servette, obviously a team that we've played previously that had our number when we went to their ground, so we managed to turn that one around. But obviously, as they're a decent team, we know Viktoria Plzen beating them must have something about them as well. They have started their league campaign. They're a couple of games into that as well, so they've played that. They've got a 1-1 draw and a 5-1 win in recent times as well. So they're coming into this relatively confident. I think they'll view us as a difficult team, but one that they can get a result from as well. So they'll come into this with confidence, looking to try and get something, and obviously progress to the playoff round. So what can we expect from them? Well, they do tend to play in a 3-4-2-1 formation. That can sometimes be a 4-5-1 if they are feeling more threatened, or they're up against a bigger team, a team they expect to struggle against defensively. Then they'll maybe switch to that back four. But often it is this back three with the wing backs, and then providing a lot of width alongside their wingers. They do like to try and sort of play quick build-up play, using quick movements, passes. They try to play with a quick transition, although they're not necessarily actually all that good at it. Sometimes they make mistakes in that transition phase of play. They do try to blend through a modern, sort of flexible tactical setup, balancing possession and pressing with that rapid traditional play, and the occasional defensive lapses that they can have. We're in luck because they're two of their best players. They're going to be missing, having been sold. They've got a third, one of their midfielders who is currently suspended, and one of their better defenders is injured. So they're missing about 4 key players for this game, which is a boost for us. Although some of them may well be back for the second leg. But definitely their most influential player hasn't travelled, as I said, they've both been sold. He's not been sold yet technically, but he hasn't travelled as he's expected to complete his move to Lyon in the coming days. when they're at home, they do like to try and employ a high press while remaining sort of possession-minded, keeping the ball and moving it about, not too dissimilar to ourselves. When they're away, though, they do tend to be a bit more compact, a bit more reactive, and they like to counter-attack, as I say, with those fast-paced transitions, despite the frailties of often losing the ball themselves when they do that. So that's something that we could potentially capitalise on if we're on it, although that's something that we've been struggling with as well. So it'll just depend on as I say, how we approach the game. If we've got the mentality, if we've got a little bit more snap to our tackles, a bit more snap to our um pressing play. Sorry, unlike against Motherwell, as to how that will go. Up front, they've got a target man in Vidra that they'll play up front. He's probably now one of their main men. Some may remember him from playing in the Premiership. And the second player, which also joins Vidra in my Danger Men collection today, is Durosinmi. He's a really big physical unit, a tall player, someone that uses his physicality a lot. Tend to be playing him more in the attacking midfield kind of position with Vidra up front. But they can move top about. Durosinmi will be a threat from things like corners and set plays. That's something that we need to look out for. He didn't play as many games last season, but still got sort of 5 goals and 2 assists. Assists there, sort of decent, sort of general stats there. Wasn't able to get the full sort of attributes for him, but so we've got kind of passing accuracy, tackles won, both in the low to mid 70s. And surprisingly, and his Aero Jules one, not surprisingly, is quite high, 55, which sort of every 1 in 2 aerial duels he will come out to the victor on. Redress played a lot more games last season, as I say, one of their more consistent players. 8 goals and 5 assists, so he can both score goals and lead them on. Versatile, can play from the right or up front. Gets on the ball a lot, has a lot of touches. You can see the 83rd percentile for touches in terms of strikers and similar leagues. So it gets a lot of touches there and creates a lot of chances for others as well as himself. In terms of Rangers, I do think we're going to see changes in this game. Most people think, I believe at this point, that we're going to see changes after Russell Martin went through the team. After that Motherwell game, he did seem to suggest that there are players that are not doing what they're meant to be doing. So I think it's going to be important for Martin if he's going to lay a stamp on the team and get over the supposed pushback that's come from some players as well. If he's going to sort of lay down the marker that there's not going to be any time for that, and at Rangers, if you're not playing for the team, then you're not in the team. Then changes should be made to reflect that. Who those changes are, I'm not sure. Obviously, there's a lot of suspicions. People think he was talking about Kieran Dowell, potentially talking about James Tavernier, as they're weak for the goal. So could they be changes? Obviously, he's been playing Max Adams out on the left. He doesn't seem to be really keen on Jeffrey at the moment in terms of that left side. So not 100% sure if he'll make that change yet. But as I say, he may see fit to do so. Bring Jeffrey in and play Adams on the right. But for now, as obviously Tavernier did score in the game as well with a good header, so he might still try and look at the balance of those things and continue to go with that. With the experience that he'll bring in terms of a European game, we'll see. Some changes, I do think we'll maybe see some changes in the midfield. Lau Cameron came on to great effect against Motherwell, so I'm looking to him at potentially starting this game. His energy and enthusiasm, I'm a big fan of Lau Cameron. I think he can be a really good player for us, so potentially see him coming in. Danilo, unfortunately, after having a good pre-season, scored some goals, setting up goals, he's really just not managing to get into games right now. Again, Dessers was specifically highlighted by the manager as someone that has been running and putting in the effort. So perhaps I think we'll maybe see Dessers start this one and over Danilo, and then on the right wing we've got our new recruit Ant-Man. I'm really hoping that he will just throw him straight in. Dell has been pretty ineffective. He's been okay defensively, but he's not offering much going forward. So I think if we can get Ant-Man in there and then you move him over to the left, you've then immediately got a much more potent attack with Dessers running as well. And I think we could potentially get a lot more out of those three than we've been getting out of the combinations we've played so far. And if that is the case, then I think Ant-Man could be the game changer for us in the game. I've highlighted him out. He's a new signing, 23 years old. He's taking up number 18, primarily to play on the right wing, though he can play on the left as well. He got 6 goals and 15 assists in the Eredivisie last season, which is an excellent return, particularly for the assists. So we hope that will continue into this this year as well. That was over 32 matches, of which he started 28. So that's almost an assist every second game, which is an excellent return. So hopefully that he can bring that creativity to the team, because it's creativity we badly need, creating more chances. But of course, at the same time, you need players who can finish them off as well. So I think, Cameron, Gassama, Dessers, Raskin has been coming in. He was scoring goals at the end of last season. If we can get a player like Ant-Man who can put really good chances up for these players, then hopefully we'll start getting more goals from them. As again, goals from midfield is something we've needed for a long time. You can see from his stats there, 84% passing accuracy, which is very good for an attacking player. 64% tackles won, so you can get in a tackle also. And 44% in terms of dribble success, which is relatively good as well. He is a player who will run with the ball, get to the byline. Is that again things that we've not really been getting from other players. So if we can get him straight into the team, and obviously he'll maybe not be as gelled and perfect in terms of the system, but just having him on, I think, can make a difference if he's someone that can create and run and be a threat to the opposition. So that leads us to the predictions. In our last lowdown, obviously I was joined by Mark. Mark had predicted 2-1, and I predicted 1-1. So the game was 1-1. So point for me. I'm going to give myself some flowers there for that one. So again, right result, right outcome. In terms of this one, again, a decent team that we're playing, but with the crowd behind us, a couple of changes to the team. And hopefully the sort of European Rangers coming to the fore, I think we can come out of this with a victory. I'm going to say 2-0 again for the home leg. I do think it sort of sets us up nicely to go to the away leg with the 2 goals up. If we can get a third, that would be great. As I think if you're kind of getting 3-0, in most cases you've killed off the tie, then you just have to go and be competent in your away match and you'll be through. So I'm not sure if we'll get as many as that, because we're not, as I say, creating chances or getting shots enough right now, but I'll go for 2-0 again. We'll say Ant-Man to score in his victory, and a Dessers goal for the opener for his account for the season. And that will hopefully be enough, as I say, to get us past Plzen for that first game. So that was us for the lowdown. As I say, the games are coming quick, thick and fast. Obviously, another league game of the weekend, and then the return tie for Plzen next week. We'll have lowdowns for all these games. The second leg of the Plzen match, I'll probably look to have another guest on, and we'll have a look at the first game in addition to what we've looked at here, and see what we can take from that to hopefully be looking at a victory that we're looking to defend to push forward. I do think we got a good draw in terms of if we do get past Plzen, then we will play either RB Salzburg or Club Brugge, which I think was the preferable set from the tie. So the draw's been good to us this year. We need to take advantage of that and hopefully get ourselves through to the Champions League. Obviously, we go straight into the Europa League league phase if we lose either of these ties. So there's that sort of parachute there if that happens. But as I say, we want to be in and amongst the best, challenging ourselves and trying to make more memorable nights in Europe at Ibrox. So let's get to that Champions League. And the first step to do that is by getting past Plzen in this first leg. Hope you enjoy the game. Hope everyone plays well. We start to see a bit more improvement, and I hope we see some changes in that team. But no kidding, please. So yeah, enjoy everything, and Just remember that every night is a Rangers journey night.